welcome to Dawn's Craft Riot. December 5th edition. Take 2. This time with sound. I was having some weird camera problems earlier, and I think that I ended up unchecking sound somehow. Like a genius. But earlier my camera wasn't being recognized at all, so... So folks, you may have missed the beginning of this broadcast where I did so much work and all kinds of explanation with no sound. So much work, I hardly did anything. Hello! Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I don't know if there's other people in the room who were here when there's no sound, who are now in... I don't know. I hope that everybody's in the right room and not... Yeah, the joy of the internet. The joy of having, like, fog brain, too. But anyway... Let me just explain what I'm doing. I'm making a simple 3D ornament out of paper. I used paper that I got... Oh, don't do that. The last time I did that, everything went blurry. Don't do it twice in a row. Learn your lesson, girl. This is paper I got at a liquidation store, so I don't know if anybody else will be able to find paper like this, but I picked this sheet because of the ornament shapes. I picked 4 ornaments that were the same pattern. You don't have to do the same pattern. You can do this same technique with whatever little image you have. You might want to take like either cut circles or punch circles out of old Christmas cards. So there's lots of different things you can use to do this. I can't believe it. I went for almost 15 minutes with no sound. Yeah, I like the colors of this. So I'm going to explain what I did without doing it over again. I took a little strip from the paper, the top of the paper, where the ornaments were cut in half. They were the line of the paper went through them, and since I couldn't use those, I cut my strip of paper from there. I measured it against the back of one of my ornaments to get it almost all the way across. I want it to stick over a ways. But then I folded it down 4 times and then a 5th time, and then I just cut myself a little flap. So basically I made a structure, a little strip, a 4-sided strip that fits just behind the little ornament. And then I cut the remaining strip in half and used some of it for the hanger. So now we're all caught up to where I'm at. And I've been using Tombow glue. And I think I'm just going to leave that first section where there's no talking just completely off of the page. So, pardon me. Bottomless basket, exactly. As I was thinking, you could hang it like that. You could, pardon me, I am going to have a sip of water, so maybe I'll stop coughing. You could do something like this and then attach like a stocking below and then have stuff coming up from inside. Like you could make this even into a little box and put like a stocking or a little mouse or something, and I don't know. It could be very cute. You could do all kinds of cute stuff. I was just trying to think of a way to use paper to make a 3D thing without... I mean, there's lots of fancy ways you can cut different strips into it, like those things that you can make like extendable by cutting slits all around, and you can make beautiful, intricate paper things, but I wanted 3D paper simple. And this was my solution to that. I find it so intricate just drawing on the edge of the sheet. I'm just covering up the edge so that you don't have the white showing, because when I put it on the green tree, I don't want white showing around my red ornament. Of course, you would use a color that matches the paper that you pick, and you could use any sort of marker. Just try not to write on the front of your pattern. That's all I would suggest. So it's a real simple one for me today. I'm going to make this, and then after I make this ornament, I'm going to make a little garland also out of patterned paper. But I just feel like doing a little decoration. I am not on the show going to make a garland, I think, using the little circles that were in between these ornaments. They're not circles. If they were circles, I could punch them out, but I'll probably have to... yes, it is a good tip because those edges, those white edges will really show up, unless you have a white Christmas tree. But I do not. But I think using these would make a really sweet little garland. But I'm not going to do that on the show. I'll show you the same technique I'm planning to use for those with a different pattern. And I think the little ones, I think this would be really sweet if I make a garland out of these to use on a tiny little Christmas tree. All right, I might have already done this one. I know there's one I haven't done. Maybe I've done them all since now we're on take 2 of the video. Okay, I guess I've done them all. Also, you know, ink for edges of cards and stuff too. Make everything look fancy and finished, which reminds me, might want to do that on the ornament hanger. I did this, but not quite as well as I thought I had. So there we go. That's better. So let's just glue these on. That's all you have to do is glue these on to the front. I think I'm going to try and keep them all. There is a pattern to which way... Man, my brain doesn't work, but they do have a pattern to them. The top is slightly different from the bottom. So I'm going to try and keep them all up the same way. And then watch, when I glue them, I'll get them all turned around, because that is my luck. The very first thing I did earlier, if you were watching when I didn't have sound, was completely lose one of these that I had pre-cut out. Like you do. You get everything ready and then you lose it. I thought it was stuck on the back of the paper trimmer, but it turned out it just got put on top of another stack of paper and I couldn't see it. Getting into the corners is a tricky thing sometimes with the inking, but also I find that if your glue sticks up a little bit, like if you've got glue on the edge, sometimes a water-based marker will not want to color your glue. So this is going to get a little bit of shape because brain work. Because I put the strip behind a little bit shorter than the design because I wanted the edges to kind of push on each other and give it a bit of a sort of a scallopy or inversely scallopy shape. I don't know. Am I saying the right word? Probably not. You have a tiny little bit of play before your Tombow glue is set, so if you don't get it in the right spot, it doesn't really matter because that's where it's going to be anyway. I apologize. When I'm trying to do something that I find tricky, I stop talking. Do I have the... Oh, I have these all facing upwards. I managed to do it. Woohoo! It worked! All right. So there you go. Get under the camera, my friend. That is my simple, super simple ornament made out of paper, patterned paper. And like I say, you could make it from, you can make it an ornament like this out of old Christmas cards. Really anything. I actually really like the shape. Of course I can't. There we go. I really like the shape of this. And I'm going to make more using, that's the great thing about this paper is that there's so many options. I really like this one with the dots, and I really like this one with the green and white. So, gonna make more. Very cute. I agree. I think this paper is adorable. So you can do whatever you want with that, obviously. Oh, let's try not drying out our glue. Alright, so that's simple ornament number 1. Now we're gonna do simple garland. Which, like I say, I'm going to also make myself one using these little guys. But to show you, I'm going to use some of this K & Company double-sided paper. What? Double-sided? It's not double-sided. It claims to be double-sided, but it's not. I got double the sheets. This is K & Company. What are we looking at here? I'm trying to find the name. Sleepy Tree 8.5 by 8.5 seasonal paper pad. That's what this one's called. Ooh, crash. So here's the Sleepy Tree. I think he's adorable. I love these papers too. I'm a big fan. So we're just going to cut out a whole bunch of the trees. I'm going to leave the stars uncut because we can use them for something later. And I think I do want to keep the stems. Stems? Those aren't stems. Trunks? Maybe? Maybe we call them trunks. They're on trees. I'm not in charge of words. Call it whatever you want. Alright. One way or another. So these have got a lot of character. They've got a lot of wavy edges and stuff, but I'm just going to cut them straight out. Ain't nobody got time for wavy lines. I'm going to have to dig out my green marker. And of course I'm using my ginormous scissors, but oh well. I feel more comfortable using these ones. Alright. I'm going to use... I was trying to think of what would be best to use as the string for this garland, and the conclusion I came to... Wavy lines are great. I like them too. But I'm going to glue these all together, and if it was on a card, I would go into cutting out those wavy lines. But since this is going to be hanging from a shelf or possibly on a I don't know if I'll put this on the tree because the green might really blend in, but I think hanging down from a shelf would be really cute in like the china cabinet or something. So straight lines there because we're not inspecting it closely. Speaking of inspecting it closely, I went to a art gallery show last week and enjoyed it very much. I recommend going and looking at art if you can, folks. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I guess it depends on the artists. Oh my goodness, I just about threw that handful in the trash. I think I need to throw it into my tiny scraps bin. Sorry about all the cutting. I figured this wouldn't take as long because it's like little triangles, so it should work out pretty alright for time, cutting wise. Just want to get the idea anyways, that's the whole point. Here's an idea, run with it guys. Yeah, I think across the front of the shelf would be really cute. I'm ready for different decorations than well, this is only the second Christmas in this house, but I'm ready for something fresh and new. Oh, wow. The portrait gallery, yes, that would be wonderful. And then you went to the modern, Tate Modern as well, but you're not a fan of that style. I think it really depends on whether this style hits home with you or not, if you're gonna enjoy it. The show that I went to had a lot of different, like it had very realistic paintings, and then it had very abstract paintings, and it had scrimshaw work, and there was some glass work, and just there was a lot of really interesting stuff going on. so there was something for everybody. All right, try not to completely destroy your tree there, my dear. And again, you could do this with, I think the easiest way to do this would be to use a circle punch. If you have a circle punch, well, it doesn't have to be a circle, but just punch the same shape over and over and over. Well, I'll just do this with the 6. Just so you can get the idea of it anyway. I think that's probably enough cutting for one web show, right? Like, how much cutting do I have to do? I guess I could be painting. You could be watching paint dry. It could be worse, guys. Well, oh, art's an interesting thing. It's its own thing. So I'm not the one who says what the art is. Which one is art and which one isn't. I believe that there were a lot of paintings of people's lovers. Yes, that makes sense to me. Alright, I think I'm going to use forest moss because it seems like it's going to be closer to the kind of green this is. Actually, you know what? I think it's going to be darker, so maybe I'll go with peeled paint, which is the lovely sort of distressed green. And again, I'm going to edge my paper so that we don't have that stark white shining out. Like I say, I'm not putting this on the tree, but still, I just colored on the back of it. I still don't want the white to show. So I'm going to make this as if it's only going to be seen from one side. I'm going to put these all facing outwards, but you could double side them so that there's sandwiched on the string, so that you could hang it anywhere, and the front and the back would also be decorated. Well, some painters didn't have time for anything except for their lovers in painting, right? So of course the paintings would be of the lovers. You always get color on the back. It is hard not to. That is true. Yeah. That it is hard not to. So it works out great if you're not going to be seeing the back, or if you are going to be seeing the back, like I say, double them up. Works perfectly if you've got things that are exactly the same size and shape, like punched out circles. We've got a little bit of snow here. Just thinking about how Christmassy it seems out. It seems pretty Christmassy out. A little bit of snow. I thought maybe we wouldn't get any with the double El Nino. I thought up here it might be warm, just rain. But we got some snow, got some fog. Definitely feeling like it's time to decorate with something sparkly. Of course this isn't sparkly, but what are you going to do? Got to start somewhere. After last week's fiasco, I'm not heat embossing anything. Oh, gale force winds there. Oh, I heard on the coast here we were having crazy winds. Well, I hope everybody stays safe. Hopefully everybody has services to their houses. I heard in Vancouver they lost power to 40,000 homes because of high winds. I hope folks in England are not experiencing the same problems. Oh, yes. Neighbors having work done. So it's windy and their house is covered in plastic, so that's gotta be like the craziest, loudest noise. Sounds like a giant bat flapping outside your window. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. That sounds terrible. All right. I have a knot to deal with. Who's surprised? Put up your hand if you're surprised. Oh wait, I see no hands at all. Of course I have a knot to deal with. Alright, so I have this Oh, you have to put earplugs in at bedtime. That sounds awful. I'm so sorry. Alright, guys, I have this roll of unwaxed hemp that I put into a container, and then I feed it through this thing, and then you get hemp on a line. Unless there's a giant knot in it, which only happens if you're going to be live streaming. So don't worry, you probably won't have a knot in yours. Alright, so I'm just going to grab a length of hemp. This is just a mini garland, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like to start. So it'll be what it'll be. It'll be the length that it is. And like I say, I think I'm going to put it on the edge of a shelf, so it doesn't have to be giant. But you could make it giant. It'd be fun with kids if you had like long string, and then you could if you all had like just circles, or say punched out of like Christmas cards or whatever, then you could just all tape them on. I think I am going to tape it. I think we're just going to go with full-on straight crystal clear Scotch tape, or sellotape, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, of course, I've grabbed the one roll that's too wide. Give me a second, guys. I'm grabbing a narrower roll of tape, if I have such a thing. Oh no, of course, they're both the same width. Surprise, surprise. I have never had a single knot in this thing. Well, I mean, I guess that knot was waiting in the roll for years or whatever. Just gonna cut my tape down because, good grief. I'm just taping these on, guys. This is the easiest thing in the world. If you wanted it to last for a long time, then you want to use something other than sellotape. So now you can line them all up so they're taped exactly the same. I'm going to tape them sort of wonky. This one's taped down at the bottom. I'm going to tape this next one at the top. I'm going to sort of alternate them like that. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that you missed the beginning. If you had been here at the very beginning, you would have missed it anyways, because I was recording with no sound. I was broadcasting with no sound, so it's been an interesting day so far, is what it's been. Oh, I love this garland already, and it's not even done. You guys, I love it. Computer took forever. I'm sorry, guys. It has been difficult to get in and such. Today I'm going for the simplest of the simple. Making paper ornaments for Christmas. The simplest paper ornaments that I could come up with. All days are interesting the older you get. Yeah, you know, actually, I have the same kind of experience. All days are interesting the older I get. Absolutely. Alright, I'm on the last one, and then I'll flip it over and we can see how adorable this garland is. You guys, it's so cute. I think I might actually come back in and stick more trees on the backside, just so if it does flip, I'm all set. Here, what can we put it on? Oh, we can put it on this sheet here so we can really get a good look at it. You guys. Oh, I love it. It's so simple. Trying to show it to you is the difficult part. I guess I gotta lift it all up on here. There we go. Oh, there, that's perfect. They're so cute. So we can make this fancier. We could put glossy accents on the dots. We could come back in after we cut out the stars and glue them back down. Really, you can make it as fancy or as not fancy as you want. Like I say, my big plan is to use these little swirls from in between the ovals. These ovals from in between these shapes of ornaments to make a row of garland as well. And so basically that's it. You can cut out shapes and stick them to some kind of string or ribbon or whatever you have on hand. Yarn would work fine. And the other one is just to use what you have, some paper, to make a little 3D open basket is really what it is, but a little ornament. Just a couple of ideas is real easy ideas. I keep saying that as if it, I don't know, as if it means something. I don't know. Oh, you guys, that's it. Those are my ideas for today. Like just some really simple, Christmas decorations made out of paper. So I know you guys can do this. If you want to, then do it. I hope that you do. I hope you make lots of little garlands and lots of little ornaments and decorate your house. Of course, they don't have to be Christmassy. It can be used for, in any other context. You can make birthday ones or whatever you like. So, anyhow, I want to thank you all for being here today. That is my whole project. I hope to see you again this month. I hope to be back next Saturday. We'll see how that goes. You can stay tuned to my Facebook page, Dawn's Craft Riot Community on Facebook, to find out when I'll be broadcasting. And until then, I hope you have a great time crafting with each other. Bye guys. Thank you so much.